Okay, welcome to a very special edition of Mike and the Coach. My name's Mike Ransom. I'm here with Assemblyman Lou Manzo. In your office, you're not currently an assemblyman, but you do still have the same office.
We keep the office and we do public advocacy work here.
And that was going to be my first question, but thanks for taking some time.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be back on the show. I miss a lot of the action in Bayonne.
Okay.
But I want Bayonne people to know that this advocacy office is still available for service.
Have you been reading my notes?
Yeah.
All right. One of the things that I wanted to get into is, okay, you are, shall we call it public advocacy?
Public advocacy, yes.
All right. Can you give us an example of some of the work that you've done in that regard?
Well, we actually carried over in doing a lot of community stuff that we did when we were in the assembly office. We found that a lot of seniors, especially, and senior property taxpayers, weren't taking advantage of the senior property tax freeze in the state.
Okay.
So we begun every year an annual drive to enroll more and more people so they can get the tax break. Very important that the guidelines now have been changed in Trenton, making it even more beneficial for people at higher incomes to get the property tax freeze program. And in towns like Bayonne and Jersey City, where our taxes are going through the roof, it's important.
Even as an assemblyman, you were limited geographically, right? There was about 2/3 of Jersey City and all of Bayonne.
Right.
Okay. Do you still have that same limitation?
No, we even when I was assemblyman, I actually, since I served Jersey City and Bayonne, I did all of Jersey City, even if I wouldn't quibble with somebody if they were coming from out of the district to get a service. We just did it, and we would make a note to the assembly district.
Hoboken, Union City, North Bergen?
We've helped people up in that neck of the woods too, although with Union City a lot, mainly Mayor Stack has as an active constituent office as we do, so usually we'll make a referral and get it done. But
well, you probably cooperate with that office.
Oh, tremendous.
Now, you're not just here. You have, I see at least one staff member that...
Yes, Patty is volunteer at the time.
Okay.
We have other individuals. We even have attorneys who have volunteered their time here and to handle more complex issues of the advocacy office. And the other thing that the advocacy office does is it's public policy. We get involved in the issues of the day, issue opinions, and back them up with reasoning, and then sort of lobby through letting the editorial boards of papers know what we feel and getting the citizenry involved in taking the right stance on an issue.
All right. Now let me ask you, if somebody needs your help, needs some information, needs to contact you.
201-946-7070.
Okay, that's the office number?
That's the office number. We also have a website, Manzo for Jersey City at Verizon.net.
Okay. And your office is right on West Side Avenue?
That's exact same 107 West Side between Stevens and Van Nostrand.
Okay. All right.
So
and it looks like a warehouse, so people may drive by.
Yeah, and there's plenty of parking.
Okay.
And like I said, we'll be having sessions as soon as they change that bill on the income. Folks who need help in filling out the forms, we'll be doing that here.
Okay.
Adequate parking. So.
All right. Well, Lou, the specific reason I came down here is because you have been involved in an appeal. There's no other way to put it, to go after Mayor Healy.
That's exactly right. To forfeit his office. Yes.
Okay. And at the time, it seemed to me, as this progressed, more and more information kept coming out.
Yeah, that we didn't have at the time of the initial incident. Yes.
Well, even one of the things that came out very early, I think, was the grand jury testimony.
That's exactly right.
Now, at the time that you began this, did you know you were going to get that kind of information?
We did not.
Okay.
We did not.
Now, what basis were you
moving on?
Yes.
It started when, let's take it back. Let's take it back to the incident itself, which was in 2006. I personally didn't think it touched his office. I didn't really know the forfeiture statute that well. I hadn't studied it. I was thinking that there was an old Faulkner law which deals with Jersey City, Faulkner City, that said you had to have commit a crime of moral turpitude. Now this crime or a third degree offense, and the crime that Mayor Healy was involved in was a disorderly person, so I had no idea. Then there was an incident with a Newark councilwoman, Dana Rone, and that was in 2000, and sort of the same time, but her case gets resolved in 2007, and they basically say they're going to move on forfeiture. And earlier this year, the case comes up, and they took her out of office based on the same parameters that Healy was found guilty on: disorderly person, him, her using her influence, and him using his influence.
All right, and hers was a very minor thing too. It seemed like she got involved in a
traffic dispute with her nephew. And the key thing here is to remember that the police that she was involved in were the Rutgers campus police. It wasn't the Newark City police. She has no authority as a council person over the Newark police. By law, she can't.
Right.
So
and even at Rutgers, I think what she was saying to him is, "Why don't you call a real cop?"
Exactly right.
Like
She said that, and she also interjected saying, "I'm Councilwoman Dana Rone." She wasn't as vociferous as Healy was, but she did say that she left her car in the middle of traffic, blocking traffic, didn't cooperate, and finally was arrested.
Okay.
But she didn't resist arrest.
A very minor thing of her butting in on something that was.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had gotten a traffic ticket or whatever, how big a deal would that even have been? It was a very minor thing that caused this forfeiture.
That's exactly right.
However, what seemed like happened was the people surrounding this case, the people that are the police, the prosecutor, the judge, were doing their jobs.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
It's interesting, but a political website, Wally Edge on NJ Politicker, in June of the year this year, wrote that the prosecutor might have bitten off more than they could chew, because in so moving on the Rone case, they put in jeopardy Jeremiah Healy, who was a friend, a close associate of Cory Booker. Now he's writing this.
Okay.
This isn't me. This is on a website.
Was this before you got involved?
This is before we even get involved. Now,
Did that have an effect of making you want to?
well, when I was astonished, Mike, having gotten involved and read this, because it was like Nostradamus. He virtually predicted what was going to be the outcome. What happened is the prosecutor in Newark, who originally moved to forfeit Rone's office, does a 180 and says, "We're not going to move for forfeiture now."
Doesn't want what?
Doesn't want to move for forfeiture.
Okay.
The judge says, "Wait a minute, I'm going to hear this matter, and you better make a good case." They go up before the judge, and the judge reams the prosecutor out and says, "You had it right the first time." And why all of a sudden you're changing tact, I don't know, but the judge actually forfeited Rone's office.
Okay.
But the implications that this political reporter pointed out months before this happened was right on, that they were upset that this might interfere more with Healy's office if they moved on a forfeiture and set a precedent.
Back to Healy, the thing that happened there, if I'm going to state it, you tell me where I'm wrong, okay? According to the papers, is that he was at a bar. There was an altercation going on that had nothing to do with him. The police arrived. He went out to try to help settle things or whatever, okay? And apparently did not follow the directions of the police when they told him to just leave the matter alone, okay? One thing led to another. He gets arrested for disorderly person, okay, and gets taken down to the police station. Now, it doesn't come out at that time, the things that he said to the police.
That's exactly right.
Okay. And now I want to just refer to something here.
Sure.
Going back to Dana Rone, the Newark councilwoman. This is from a September 11th, and it's a story by Matt Friedman from Politicker NJ. And it says, Manzo petitions to have Healy removed from office, and they refer to Councilwoman Dana Rone. Okay, but they also mention Hudson County Prosecutor Edward DeFazio, and he said that standard shouldn't apply to Healy, since Healy never invoked his office during the arrest.
This is
what DeFazio said at that time.
Right.
And one of the things that I find as time goes by, there's different reasons why this doesn't apply to Healy. The first one from DeFazio is, we're not going to get involved. He didn't invoke his office.
Right.
Okay.